Hello everyone, Scott here. The topic of this video is £5 conversations versus the £50,000 conversations. So I've been in business, had a letting agency, an estate agency and an SA management company in some form since 2005, and over the years I see 99% of conversations all being round with owners, around and property investors, around £5 conversations. So I want to elevate your thinking on this video. The most successful people in life think of things in terms, they raise their thinking and look at things in terms of £50,000 conversations. They don't get caught up in the tiny, little, unimportant day-to-day bits of operations. They think of the bigger things. So I want to grab a pen and give you some examples of this. Now, these things are on the board firstly. This is our core values, and I don't expect you to see them, but we add maximum value as one of our core values. So it's my job and the team's job to make sure our owners don't get caught up with the £5 conversations, the things that don't really matter, but they might think they matter. But if we can elevate their thinking, then they're going to make a hell of a lot more money. This is our client's core values. Again, don't expect you to see it, but the two things we look at here is financial stability. Again, it's a criteria for working with owners, and being rational. So these are who we want to work with. It's who we work best with. And this is why this video is relevant, because if someone's really going to focus on the tiny, tiny little details, the £5 conversations, and don't want to even consider the bigger ones because they're struggling to make £10 here and there, or they're not doing things ethically, then these are not the type of owners that we want. So this is our core values and the core values we would like to see in our owners. So let's go on to how we make sure that we do our core values and we help owners make the most amount of money. So I'm going to give you some examples of £5 conversations. Now, you will be shocked, and you wouldn't believe me if I told you how much of my life in the last 4 years has been taken up talking about spoons. Yes, spoons, not spooning, because that would be a great conversation. Spoons. Scott, do you count the spoons every time a guest leaves in your service accommodation unit to make sure that a guest hasn't stolen a spoon? And how many times do you count the spoons? Again, £5 conversations, because a spoon is less than £1. So over the lifetime of your unit, someone might take 5 spoons. It's irrelevant. So a lot of time is spent looking at these things. Well, could you get the cleaners to look at the spoons and make sure that nobody's stealing spoons? You could, but you'd pay £15 every changeover extra to get them going in all the cupboards and checking everything. Essentially, it doesn't really matter, because there's £50,000 conversations to be had. The next thing, damages. I've had death threats, I've had threats of getting taken me to court because a guest smashed a plate or dropped a cup and we didn't take a damage deposit. And again, people going absolutely crazy. It goes back to core values, financial stability and rational. They didn't have them. This was years ago. We now screen we're owners, but they were going crazy because we didn't take a deposit. Now, what happens if you take 20 quid off a guest for an admin fee for breaking one glass? They're not going to give you a review. Definitely not going to give you a good review. Chances are they're going to give you a bad review. And that bad review is worth a lot more to your business. Avoiding that bad review is worth a lot more than getting £5 for a spoon. It just doesn't make sense to turn a happy guest that's had a great experience and would leave you a 5-star review into an unhappy one that would never stay again. So again, a lot of time is spent saying to your landlords, yes, you might get £5, but breakages is a natural thing that happens. Now, if a guest wrecks a property, we take their damage deposit. But if we can get something with a great guest experience where they're going to come back and spend a lot more money, or they're going to get a guest review, I have a saying, for every bad guest review, you lose £1,000 of future rental income. So yes, you save £5 by charging them £5 for the broken cup, but you lose £1,000 because that guest is going to give you a scathing review saying you've taken the deposit, and future guests are going to think, well, they're going to steal my deposit. So it isn't financial stability thinking, and it's a £5 conversation. So many of these things, spoons, damages, checking guests, taking £1,000 deposit, all these little things are the tiny operational things. One was bins. We had 3-hour conversation about bins and asking one owner what he guessed to do all the dishwashing. And again, these are going to lead to bad customer experiences. These are the £5 conversations, and a lot of time used to get spent on these before we started attracting a different style of owner to us. So £5 conversations get you £5. They're not higher level thinking. But I want to take some high level thinking and talk to you about, these are £5. What about £50,000 conversations? We can take the same property and have the same conversations for £5, or we can upgrade it to this. So we manage a lot of holiday homes, so let's take a 250 grand holiday home. Let's forget the conversations about spoons and the colours of boxes on your booking system and different bits and pieces of operational stuff that don't make you any money. Owners think they're important, but they don't make money. It's the wrong conversations to be having, and it's the wrong focus of your time and energy. So, some £50,000 conversations. Well, a nice one is, Scott, how do I maximise the money of my property? Or speak to your property manager. Stick a hot tub in, you'll get 25% more. As a general rule, change that horrible gas fire, spend some money, and put a wood burning stove in. You'll get 10 to 20% extra because people will go there. It's a lovely feature. Change your furniture around. Don't have horrible IKEA bedding. There's so many conversations we can have that can put 10 or 20,000 pounds a year onto your property. So moaning about spoons isn't the right question. Scott, how do I maximise the money that I can get off my property? Take the door out, take the horrible window, and put patio doors because your view is amazing. These are the conversations of how to do it. Next one, a definite £50,000 conversation on that property is capital allowances. I'll just put CA so I don't need to write it. Capital allowances. Now the numbers, you can get 45% of the purchase price of that property back. I will not bore you with the ins and outs of tax. This is not the purpose of the video. But if you worked with Pillow or an agent and set it up correctly and you were asking the right questions, then you would get on that property probably 45k. So you've got 120 grand of capital allowances, say, but the tax money that you would have paid if you didn't have this conversation, you would have paid £45,000 extra. So that's not the capital allowance. The capital allowance is 1,200 quid. The money extra in tax you would have paid is 45. So have that conversation around about spoons or broken plates, and you're saving £45,000 in tax. How powerful is that? The next thing is section 24. If you take a buy-to-let or an HMO and change it to an SA or a holiday home, and in the eyes of the HMRC furnished holiday let, you'll avoid extra tax. And I won't bore you with the tax again, I've done the figures, but it would be too long a video. Based on this, you would be paying an extra £12,000 a year in tax if you didn't have that conversation and you didn't know how to structure your property. So, very important, you can add those two things up that every single holiday let can get under the right criteria. That's £57,000 of savings in the space of a couple of minutes. Now, as I said, I've spent days of my life discussing spoons and broken plates. That time could have been spent earning £57,000 extra money. This is money you don't need to pay the tax man, so it's doubly cool. The next thing is inheritance tax and business structure. So inheritance tax, if you're going to buy a property and you're caught up thinking, yeah, how many spoons should I put in? I keep going back to spoons because it's relevant. Yeah, what colour of sheet should I get? And yeah, and all these small operational questions, £5 questions, ask, should I put this in my own name, an LLP, or a limited company? Now, myself and the team can help you with that. The difference, and I'm going to put a big figure on the board because the biggest conversation we've ever had coming round inheritance tax, and it turned out to be about capital gains tax. The number I put on the board is the biggest conversation for tax, not capital allowances, but income tax. We saved that person £480,000 of tax on the event of their death. That's £500,000. They would have paid that because it was structured wrong. We helped them change it over and gave them some advice, and that was the tax they saved, simply by putting it into one special purpose vehicle versus another. So it's really, really important. And business structure is the last thing. Rather than wondering about how many beds and different bits and what guest criteria you're going to have, and are you going to interview the guests and take 10 forms of ID, the question is, how do I set that business up with the right structure to make sure it's tax efficient. I can leave it to my kids. I pay the least amount of tax. I can offset my capital allowances into my personal allowance so that my property gains and the capital allowances from my holiday home means I don't pay any tax on my personal wages. Now, if you're a 40 or 45% taxpayer, this is a massive amount of money. So these are some of the questions to be asking. Forget the small operational stuff about colours in a diary or bins or spoons or breakages. Think about how you structure the property. What are the tax advantages to putting it in one way rather than another? And what changes could I make to how could I invest in my property to make that get 25% more gains? A nice one as a hot tub might cost you £3,000, might cost you £100 a month. But the difference in that hot tub, if it's getting you 25% more, might be 5, 6, 7 to 10 grand a year. So by putting a hot tub in, you could get 25% more income. Who wouldn't want to do that? Now, not all properties can have hot tubs, it's an example, but I want to use this as an example of how we can elevate our thinking from £5 conversations to £55,000 to £50,000 conversations and get the maximum amount from our time and effort, all meanwhile reducing more stress. So hope this makes sense, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want any more information about any of this, then please get in touch.